how are you? You're feeling better?
Yeah, much better.
Good,
Staying
good.
in. Yeah.
Well, we missed you last week.
Yeah, I was also feeling bad about that because, but it's just that the weather is changing. So
Yeah.
now, yeah. So how many people have RSVP'd? Do you know? Like,
For
f-
we you know that we changed the date for tomorrow, right? You got the
uh,
notice?
what is, no, I somehow missed it. What is
Okay.
going on?
So
Yeah.
the so RSVP'd for the Becoming Beloved Community or
Yes.
okay. So
Yeah.
that date has been changed to October 30th, and that's because the League of Women Voters has an
Oh,
event
yeah.
tomorrow, and we had very few people who were scheduled to
Oh, okay.
attend. So we
Y-
we we
Yeah, I know
rescheduled.
about that. I actually signed it and I gave my registration also. So I'll just
Yeah.
enter that also. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, I saw that you had registered for today, but and I'll make sure that I'll send out
Mhm.
another notice tomorrow to remind people that
Okay.
the event is on the 29th and not yeah.
It is 30th. You said
Yeah,
29th or
yeah,
30th?
on the 30th. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 30th.
We also have an event on the 29th, so we have like back to back to back events.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's really good.
I think so too.
Think-
I'm excited
Yeah,
about
we needed that. It's really important nowadays.
right.
Yeah.
No. So
So the meeting is over in at a bank community center, that big hall.
yeah, for the
All
Becoming
right.
Beloved community, yes, yeah, it's in the
Yes, yes. Okay. Facilitation and banks.
yeah, I'll double check. I will double check with everything tomorrow because we did have to switch things around. I know our
Oh,
plan,
okay. Yeah,
so
true.
I
Yeah.
think
And it is
we're
at
still in.
5:30. 5:30 or yeah, 5:30, I think.
Yeah, we said yeah, 5:45 because
Oh, 5:30.
we'll have
Okay, cool.
folks arrive and grab a little bite to eat and then we'll try to get started at
Oh,
6.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, that's good. Good timing. Yeah, actually, we are a little bit early. Yeah,
Yeah,
9 minutes early.
I always try to sign in early because sometimes I have issues with my internet and with
Oh, okay,
logging
okay.
into Zoom. So I
Oh, okay,
always
okay.
just want to
Makes
make
sense.
sure that I can get in. And
Yeah,
if I don't get in, then I can call our IT
yeah,
director and he can get me in.
yeah. Sure.
So,
That's good.
you guys have a fairly full agenda tonight, so
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because it's the new year. We're just starting.
right.
Mm.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, okay. All
No,
right.
Hi.
hi, no,
Okay. Yeah.
no. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
So you believe in recording, starting the recording right away, so you don't forget, I guess.
Well, so I think
Oh,
Philip has set it up that way, so it's
Uh,
started automatically. I typically do that for all of my meetings. We had, I don't know if whether it was I think it was HRC where there were a couple of meetings that where record
yes,
was right. So,
yes. I remember asking for one in particular and being told that it was never recorded.
right.
So, uh, so we should still be spreading the word about the workshop that ACLU and Pioneer Valley Workers Association are doing. Have you seen that flyer yet, Rizwana?
yes,
You
definitely.
know everybody, so make sure it gets around.
Right. So I
Yeah, okay, I'll give it to.
mm, I thought that Philip said that they were at capacity.
No,
Okay.
there was a mistake. So they did say they were at capacity, but they hadn't set the capacity to the right number.
Okay. All
So
right.
the capacity is 300.
Mhm.
But the main room will hold 100.
Okay.
The overflow room will hold 200. So if we should at least have 100.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And we didn't talk about like whether somebody was going to be sitting at a table letting people in or like what the protocol is. But I have it on my list to ask Javier what he does normally.
So I worked the fire department open house on last Saturday. A lot of people were interested and took the flyer, but they did not want to sign up because they don't want their names to appear on a list. And so someone, because I encouraged them, like, oh, please register. And they were like, we don't want to register. We don't want our names on a list. And I said, the registration is being held by the church. It's not being held by the
Oh, it's
town,
not,
just, and it's
it's not
not
being held.
mandatory. Yeah.
It's not being held by the church. Javier wants it to be mandatory,
Mhm.
but we promise that the list will not be used for any other purpose. It's just to get a
Right,
count.
right, exactly.
It's being held by the Peace Development Fund.
Okay, all right, so,
So whatever,
yeah,
it's as safe as we can make it.
right,
It's not going to go anywhere.
yeah.
But maybe we should bring that up to Javier and see, because maybe there should be an alternative that you can come early and register on the spot.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I hate to just scare people away like that.
Right, well, I encouraged the person I spoke with, I said, it's not mandatory, you can just come, so please come.
I like the policy that Reverend Rachel had, which was register, but no one will be turned away.
Right, yeah, so,
But I don't know if I think we need to have a conversation with Javier because I don't really know what his concerns were.
Well, so a lot of the organizations that I'm working with that are working around in the DEI space are concerned about folks attending meetings or who are not really wholly interested or being there for nefarious reasons. And I don't know. I know with the webinars that I've been attending, they have prohibited AI generated note taking,
Notes, right.
so.
Hi, Silas, welcome.
Yeah.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, Silas.
Hi, Rizwana. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, Silas. Hi, I'm better.
Hey, I hope more people are coming because we need a quorum.
Right.
We have 2 vacancies. I
Ooh.
don't know if everyone is aware of that. Let's encourage people to apply.
Right. So Alex, I know you're going to be screen sharing, so I'm making you a co-host. There's Jay.
Okay, we're all here,
Yeah. And
except Milan.
Lon, yeah.
Well, it's 6 o'clock, so I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'll do roll call first. Milan is not here. Liz Haygood is not here. Rizwana Khan,
Present. You're here.
Silas McClung,
Here.
Ronnie Parker here, Jay Pillay,
Present.
Alex Taratorina, is that correct?
Yes, present.
Okay, great. Okay, well, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. Oh, I didn't give the time. It's 6:01 p.m.
Liz just popped in.
Okay. Liz, we just finished roll call, so I'll call you again. Liz Haygood,
I am present. I'm also at work, so I'm listening. Okay.
okay, thank you. Okay, so pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Okay, welcome everyone. I have no specific opening remarks. The agenda today is pretty standard. Our action items are to approve the minutes, talk about the HRC video, get our DEI update, discuss about the complaints link on the website, and propose some language for future statements and decisions of the HRC. Then we'll have public comment again and close. So with that, let's go to public comment. Is there any public? I can't tell.
There's no one in the
There's no one there. Okay, great. Member reports. Does anyone have anything to report?
I can speak here.
Mhm.
And I think you're aware of this, but I spoke to the town council during public comment during the last meeting and asked for them to consider pushing forward our bylaws again. And Anna, the town councilor from District 5, followed up with Ronnie. Ronnie, perhaps if you might explain what all was discussed that would be helpful or surrounding the bylaws.
There was really no discussion. I've forgotten her name. Who was it? Sorry to.
Anna?
Who?
It was Anna Devlin.
Oh yeah, it was Anna. Yeah. It was Anna Devlin Gauthier. She was concerned because I think part of her role has to do with ensuring bylaws go through proper process and so on. I don't fully understand it, but she seemed surprised to hear that nothing had happened. So she wrote me and said, "What's going on?" Well, frankly, I was surprised because she was there last year when we said we want our bylaws to be passed. But I think they have a lot going on, and it's hard to remember to do the things that don't seem urgent. Anyway, she very much appreciated Silas speaking up. She also had not known about the letter I sent on behalf of the whole commission because neither Alex nor I could go. And so that letter is not in your original package, but it's in a subsequent attachment saying that we're really concerned and we want we want the bylaws to be approved, and making the suggestion that they do it along with the annual report, because they will be talking about the annual report. Initially, we were told that would be in early November, but it's going to be November 17th, I believe. And it may be that they postponed it because they're going to be discussing CSSJC's concern and report on the 4th. So they may just feel like it's too much to put both together. I'm not sure what the exact reason is. But Silas, a stranger came up to me when I was at the farmer's market on Saturday saying how great it was that a member of the Human Rights Commission came forward and spoke about it. So while the letter is good as far as the formal process is concerned, it's really important. What you did is quite important, and I want to acknowledge and thank you for that. Liz?
Okay, am I on? Wait, yep, I'm unmuted. I just wanted to point out when you said that there's a lot going on and it's not important to them, it is still important to us, and it should be important to them because we are part of them. And so I think that even though November 17th is a long way away, I'm assuming and hoping that they have something to say on their November 17th meeting. And if not, we need to not push back. We need to bring it to their attention again at their next meeting after that.
Yeah, I had actually told one of the town councilors that if we don't get a response, we're going to be coming back at every town council meeting and we're going to repeat the same thing. We're not going away until we're addressed. So I had told a few town councilors that were very frustrated, just to put that on. But the thing that's holding us up, and I mention it in the letter because we need to be upfront about it. There are two things that we never really, I mean, we were clear on, but I don't think the town manager ever agreed to. One is that our entire mission was taken out by the law firm, and we put it back in. So I addressed that in my letter and said that our mission is important to us, so we're not going to take it out. And the second thing was that they really wanted us to report to the town manager. And I said in the letter that as a body that is about policy and not an implementing body, we should really be reporting to the town council, and that our director of human rights, who implements the work, who is the actual administrator of everything, all the work that has to do with the Human Rights Commission, reports to the town manager. So that seems correct to me. And we all work together, of course, as needed. In fact, we compromised in our bylaws by saying that we would report to both, but I didn't say that in my letter because I think the point really is that we don't know why we are not reporting. Why is that reporting relationship being changed? It was never really told. Just so you all know what the issues are. Those were the two issues as far as I'm concerned. Liz?
Regardless of what the issues are, they still should be taking a look at it and at least making a compliment about it. It's been over a year. And secondly, I'm hoping that they don't think that by Anna reaching out to you is they're reaching out to us in response to us saying we have not heard from you. So
I don't think so, because I actually got a message from Lynn Griesmer, and I think that's the response. The response is, I know this is important. We will put you on our calendar for November 2nd or 3rd or whatever that day was. And then she wrote back and said, I'm very sorry, we have to push you to November 17th. In either case, it's after the election.
Do members of the Human Rights Commission need to be in the audience to make another public comment prior to their, discussing it? Or do we think that just watching and, seeing if they actually do it is sufficient?
I think on the day that it's on the agenda, we have to be there if we can, physically there, to speak up and not let it go away and assert ourselves. We may need to do some preparation, but before that, I think it's open to the commission to discuss and decide what we want to do. What do you think, Silas?
Well, I think that it would make sense if we were able to show up in person. I think that being personable is better than, over Zoom and we're not there at all. And so I think that it would be really important if we could put that on our calendars to be able to show up and in support of passing the bylaws, and also the adjustments that were made to reflect, I think, important things that you said about the mission and that other change into who we report to. So could you remind me what the date and time was?
Pamela, do you know when the town council meets? I think it's like 7 or something. And the date was November 17th.
The date is November 17th. I think you're probably better to wait a little bit closer to find out where you would appear on their agenda. Otherwise, their meetings tend to be like 3 to 4 hours long. So, so we probably want to wait to see where you are on the agenda to give you a better estimate of when you'd need to be there. So,
Okay, sounds good.
and Philip will be, I will be away, but Philip will be able to do that.
Yeah, Philip, I think in the past has given us fairly precise timing, and it won't be exact, but we'll sort of know around when, so we're not waiting around. Are there any other thoughts or comments? I agree with Silas, by the way. Any other thoughts or comments about preparing for the human rights report? It's before the date of our meeting, so we can come back to it at the end because we haven't really gotten to our agenda yet. Other reports. I have just one, and it's about the training that the coalition of organizations is doing. You all got the flyer. We'll be able to accommodate up to 300 people. And Javier, the ACLU lawyer, has said that he will stay till every question is answered. So we want people to come and we want people to hear what he has to say. Let's just get the word out. Are there any questions about that? That's the only thing that I've been working on with Philip. Okay. Any other reports? All right. Let's go to the action items then. The first one is to approve the minutes. We have 2 minutes. We have minutes from our retreat on September 28th. And we have, I think the one before that, August 20th. Is there a motion to approve August 20th and September 28th minutes?
So
Second?
Second.
I second.
Okay, we've got 2 seconds. I'm just gonna call out the names. Milan is not there. Liz?
yes,
Rizwana?
Yes.
Silas?
Yes.
Ronnie, yes. Jay,
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Okay, the minutes are approved. What's next? The HRC video. Maybe Jay, you can give us an update on that.
Well, we met, well, those of us.
I'm sorry, Pamela has her hand up.
Oh, sorry.
Do you guys normally approve your minutes individually or, I mean, or do you?
No, it's just that we get to decisions and then, I just thought it would be good to do the same thing all the time so that it's easy and I don't forget.
No, that's not what I'm asking whether that motion was to approve both the August
Yes.
and September rather than approving them individually. So you're approving
Yes,
both.
I
Okay.
did say both the dates. Okay, Jay?
Well, we as a group met at was this Amherst Media and worked with Dave Sondrini, where we worked on the video. He engaged in all kinds of, recording of us individually and trying to, I guess, package the script together. Let's see, Milan also helped out as a sound person in the recording of that, which is very, very nice. And it was nice also to see all of you there, those of you who were available, at least on that day. So the next stage is actually editing. And so Milan will be working with Dave to do the editing. And following that, I will meet with Dave to work on the sound. And as each thing or each segment is done and completed, Dave will send that back to me to be vetted. And then eventually we will package that together. Hopefully that, you all get to see this to have the last say. And then we could work around that, tweak some things around, and then we'll have our video. In terms of the time, it really depends on when Milan meets with Dave and when I can set up the time to meet with Dave as well. But for me, I would like to do this sooner than later because I don't want to fall into the Thanksgiving and then, and then the Christmas period. I would rather just get it out to the public sooner than later.
So what would be really nice is if we could have it for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights Day, December 8th or 10th, I forget. Is that realistic, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, that, it really depends on I think the schedule of both Milan and Dave and myself. And to me, it's not a complicated script. It's not a complicated piece of work, to do. And I have done, small projects like this, especially with my students in the past. And these things are very, very doable. So I don't know what the other projects Dave may be working on as well. So, we have to work around that. But I would really like to have that for, the Human Rights, Declaration Day as well. So.
I also want to acknowledge and thank Rizwana, who worked so hard on it, but was sick on the day of the recording.
Just
We really missed you,
unfortunate.
Rizwana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah. It was just a misfortune. Yeah.
Well, I hope you are feeling much better now.
Yeah, it's right there. I'm covering myself, The weather is turning really cold.
Any other questions for Jay or comments about the video?
No, but thank you, Jay, and
Yeah.
for doing that. Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you, Jay. Yeah.
I'm so impressed by all this capacity we have within this commission to do all kinds of things. It's really makes me feel proud to be part of it. Okay, so then we'll move on to the DEI update.
Okay, so I have a long laundry list that Philip prepared, and I am assuming that you all are hearing this for the first time. I'm not sure whether any of it is repeat information. The departments restarted our departmental trainings for municipal staff and employees, and we're using a new format this year. So typically we do 10 workshops during the course of the year, and we are doing 5 topics. The first topic will be in a 101 or introductory format, and the same topic is repeated in a more advanced or 2.0 format. So Philip began last month with inclusive language 101, and on Friday of this week, I'm going to do the inclusive language 2.0 version. And we'll follow that methodology throughout the remainder of the year. We have 2 UMass students serving as work study students for the department. Valentina Busmonte, who's a senior, and Aileen Feliz, who is a junior. Valentina started like 2 weeks ago and participated in the facilitators training that we had last week. And Aileen is scheduled to start on Monday. We held our Becoming Beloved Community Facilitator training last Thursday, and we trained 4 new facilitators. And Ronnie was there, which was very helpful to share her perspective about being involved in this work. And, so that was good. It was nice to have more people who are being trained and who are interested in doing the work. And one of the individuals who was trained, Marguerite Sheehan, was an honoree 2 years ago in our Pride presentation. So she and her wife were one of the first couples to be married after marriage equality started in Massachusetts. We have a youth empowerment programming that will be on Wednesday, October 29th. The topic is college preparedness. We have guests coming in from UMass and from Amherst College. And then Philip and I are also going to be presenting on different topics. That's scheduled on an early release day from school. So the goal is to really draw students in and to give them something to do on that early release day. And we're hoping that the pizza and snacks will encourage folks to come. The Becoming Beloved conversation that has civics, citizenship, and civility as its topic has been postponed. It was scheduled originally for tomorrow night, but there is a conflict with the League of Women Voters, and so we've ended up postponing it to October 30th. It will be in Town Hall. We'll have light refreshments for people who arrive around 5:45, and we'll hope to get the programming started at 6. So that registration, I encourage everyone to register regardless of whether you're attending or as a facilitator, so that we can have an accurate head count. I don't know if Philip already announced this, but we secured $5,000 grant from the Mass Cultural Council to support Amherst Global Village in 2026. So we're off to a good start with our fundraising. That's generally about a third of what we would need to raise. And I know that he's also applied for a grant from the Amherst Cultural Council, and then we'll reach out to our additional partners as well. We finalized our strategic plan. It was reviewed by the town manager. It is available for review on our website, and basically includes like 8 areas that we intend to work on. The plan is designed to have a 1-year check-in, and we're using the calendar year, so we're giving ourselves a bit of a lead time to get going. We are also going to be working with our IT department to create a dashboard. So hopefully the dashboard will be live on January 1, and that will be the start of our first year of the strategic plan. And then there are check-ins in year 3 and year 5. And we use the most recent town manager goals to align some of the work that we are attempting to do in the strategic plan. So for example, one of the town manager goals is to provide equity training for town council. And our proposal is to provide that to town council in year 1, and then to provide the same types of trainings to boards and commissions in the remaining years. So there are over almost 50 different boards, so we need to be able to break that out over time. Our October newsletter went out on the 1st. And then the last thing on the list is that, with the HRC, we're co-sponsoring the bystander training that Ronnie talked about at the beginning. So pretty busy in our office right now.
Are there any questions for DEI or Pamela?
So just
Wow.
one last thing, and maybe Liz might be able to help us with this. We have reached out to the middle school to invite middle school students to participate on the Day of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In the past, they have had their presentation at the Jones Library, but of course that is offline this year. And we're hoping that they will partner with us and attend the event that we're planning for the HRC.
So this is the only question I have, and it is about UDHR Day. So you said we're planning for them to attend our event, and I somehow thought we were attending their event, where the class does something and then what is the event and what do we need to do to prepare?
So normally their class would hold an event at Jones Library, but obviously the library is offline, so they can't hold an event. So we're inviting the class to come to the event that we would typically have. So normally the HRC event is in the evening and outdoors. We will move it inside. It just makes sense to be inside and to have light. One of the things that one of our interns is doing is we have these beautiful wood prints of all of the articles of the Declaration. And if anybody wants to stop by the office, I'll be happy to show them to you. So we will have them all on display in the room. And then normally the students in the past have also been asked to choose an article and to do some artwork and that symbolizes the article and write a little piece about that. So the details have not been completely finalized yet, but we're hoping that we can combine the events and have students attend our event. It may require that our event may need to be earlier during the day or early evening as opposed to when we've had it in the past, but Philip has been in communication, I believe, with the middle school principal, but it hasn't been finalized yet.
Has the place been finalized? Can it be someplace like the town hall? Because then it would seem important. It would make it worth their while to come.
So I'm not sure whether he has finalized the place. Town hall would make it very difficult for us to have a large crowd and to display all of the articles because the room is just not that large. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. But that's very exciting. Last year we were hoping to do this and it didn't work out. I'm not sure why, but it's really exciting to be able to have the celebration with the school kids, I think. Any questions about UDHR Day? Again, it would be really nice if everyone came. I think last year it was me and Deb and Liz who were there. Okay.
I have a quick question. I'm curious if we want to send out any personal invitations to different groups. Both, I'm thinking about the ones who are, for example, participating in the training that's coming up, the collaborative training, or other local schools. I'm just curious if that's something we've done in the past, or we would want to extend an invitation, for this one.
Yeah, I had asked Philip about the schools. He said it was complicated with the schools, but he was going to try. So I'm not sure what, but definitely we should send it to our personal networks. And I met somebody who is a parent of a primary school kid who's in the bilingual program. And I think because of my role in the commission, he said, well, what do we do if ICE comes to our school? Like, we haven't been given any guidance and I'm worried about my kid. So that really scared me. I sent him the flyer, but I think we need to have a separate conversations about the schools because I thought they already had stuff in place. But anyway, I would say for the training and the UDHR, we should spread the word to all our personal contacts and invite people to come.
So I think once the date and location has been finalized, we can share that information. Most elected officials love to attend events where there are children, so
Yeah.
we're likely to draw more elected officials if they know that there are students participating. And we did reach out to the school last year. We were, we just did not get a positive response from them, but we're trying a slightly different tactic this year, and it seems to be moving, and I'm hopeful that that will be successful. I mean, I think that there, in the past, and Liz can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past, the event has mostly been celebrated by members of the HRC, an open invitation to the public, and it's dependent really on weather and networks, whether folks attended. But given the state of the world, this time if it's broadcast broadly and we can work with the communications manager to do that, you're likely to get a much larger turnout. At least I would hope that you would. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think we need to market it some more. A lot of people don't know what it is and why it's important, and I'm not really sure how to do that. But maybe you, if you are able, Silas, could sit with Philip to come up with an appropriate kind of flyer or a message that we could all stick in our emails and send to people to make it catchy and interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody could work with Philip, not necessarily you.
No, I'm actually happy to. So would it be best, Pamela, if I just reached out to Philip after this meeting to say I'd like to follow up at some point once we have the details scheduled to create a flyer, or what would be the best way to do that?
So Philip is on vacation this week. He won't be back until midweek or late next week. We are actually trying to task our work study interns with doing some of the marketing and communication.
Oh,
One is I think it's actually Valentina, who is a communications major. And so I we would welcome you to work with her or to come in and share ideas, but and reaching out to Philip or I late next week when he's back is would be fine. Yeah.
okay, great. Yeah, if that individual is willing to or is in the workflow able to create a flyer, great. And I'm also happy to review or make edits or create a first draft.
Yeah.
Whatever I can do to help. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really good if someone or some of us on the Human Rights Commission actually looks at that before it, does a review before it goes out. Anything else for DEI? Okay, the next bullet is complaints link on the website. So I noticed when I looked on the website, whenever it was, that our complaints link says something like, if you have a discrimination complaint, click here or file here or whatever. And I brought it up with Pamela, who felt that was appropriate. And I was wondering if maybe it should be if you have a human rights complaint and not a discrimination complaint. So I was asking for a change in language. And so we would like opinions here. Pamela, do you want to say something before other people speak? Okay, so I'd like to hear from you all what your preference is and do you care?
So the question I have is, do people understand what a human rights complaint is? And if they don't, we could be spending all our time reading through complaints that have nothing to do with human rights. So that's why I don't know what the appropriate word would be, but we just need to be careful of the language because, again, we don't want to keep spinning our wheels for things that are not human rights complaints. And then somebody would have to respond to the people and say, that's not a human rights complaint. It needs to go somewhere else. And I guess that's our job maybe, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work for if people don't already understand.
Other comments?
Yeah. Basically, I think as an educator that we should keep on repeating the process of the process of complaints also that we have already implemented or we have put on the paper. So everything should be as an autopilot, and the message has to go out consistently, and we should not be changing too much. So but we should know exactly, just like a blueprint. Okay, the complaint process is over here, and we as resident committee volunteers also, we should also be very comfortable with the process of complaints. Basically, we should be memorizing those processes, a few steps. So we should also, that is how we will be able to, whenever we meet, like Rani met somebody, and we are all residents over here. So when we meet somebody, we can tell them, this is the process. And then they are also curious and they feel comfortable that we are representing something and we know something also. So that becomes our motto also, that we should learn how to, these things that are supposed to be institutional. What do you think?
Other thoughts? Silas?
Rizwan, I do think that it's helpful, yeah, for us all to know the complaint process. I think that's a great point. I guess the piece that I'm curious about is if it is framed as a human rights form, which I'm not necessarily opposed to, because I think that does make it more specific, is if it'll lose some of its search engine optimization in terms of when people are actually looking up on the internet, like for discrimination, and if like that may impact the way people are able to access the page. I don't know the answer to that question, but that would be something that I'd be curious about, if discrimination is a word that folks are more likely to use when searching for something like this. And then I guess the other thing that I'm curious about is if we do write down it's a human rights form to submit complaints to, we might have to define on that landing page more specifically what that would entail, because otherwise I think it may get a little, as Liz was saying, unclear.
Yeah, I have
So-
something about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, also, Silas also Silas, you say very well also the fact that there is a resource place and there's a number for it. I think in the retreat, we should also, like, in an organization, people go there and everybody has to learn this is the glossary and these are the things that are important. And we should have learned that also, because there are several things that we should learn, and those are very important while we are interfacing. For example, in the future, because of the webinar, we might be interacting with more public, and when they come to us, so we should have a list of things uh, that whatever bothers them, we say, okay, point it out to them on a list, and then a link also. So we should take it more seriously. I think that whatever we're doing, we should be more knowledgeable than just creating. We have created a big webinar, so that is our something very important. So that will interact, that will give us a space where we'll be able to interact with the people. And then when we interact, we do not want to have a small talk, we want to give them some direction. And if we don't know about any direction, we just have the bylaws. We don't know the actual, where is the resource, the process, claim process. So we should identify all of those areas for ourselves. And that's my spiel on that.
Thank you. So one of the things that I found really impressive about the video is that there's a set of examples there. There are like 5 bullets that tells you what are examples of human rights violations. And I wonder if there's a way to make a human rights complaint and right below that, or in a link to say, here are some examples of human rights complaints. I wonder if that's a way to get around it. And I guess the concern I have about discrimination is that it's a particular kind of violation. So, if you're thrown out of your apartment, if you're subject to domestic violence, I don't think we can solve those problems, but we don't solve problems anyway. We give people a place to go where they can talk, and we direct them to somewhere. So, yeah, I feel like discrimination is more what I would expect to see on the DEI website. Like if I go to the DEI website, I would look for complaints about cases of discrimination. I see human rights as broader. But I do totally agree with the point being made about, people may not know what is a human rights violation. Jay, sorry.
Yes,
Just
just
saw
one
your
point.
hand.
Yeah. I mean, with regards to the video, I'm recalling the wordings in the script. One of the lines there was, "Is this where I can file a discrimination complaint?"
Mm.
And you're really speaking to the DEI officer in that scene. So
Right.
it makes sense that you can do that there. But since human rights is also a subset and a working partner with DEI, you're going to get overlap of things involving discrimination and human rights, where things involving discrimination is also a violation of one's human rights. So yes, some things would fall, I think, into some gray areas, but I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have this in the script.
What about the examples in the script? I thought those were good examples,
Mm.
and they weren't all just discrimination. I mean, somebody came up to me also in the market, who had made a complaint, not recently, but having to do with domestic violence, which was resolved elsewhere. But she came up to me and said, it's so nice to have the Human Rights Commission. She just recognized my name because I was wearing my Master Gardener tag. So she said, oh, are you part of the Human Rights Commission? And I said, yes, and appreciated it. I don't know, I feel like it has to be broader. You can't say I got thrown out of my apartment illegally and then say, well, I'm not going there because it's not discrimination.
Raise my hand.
Yes, Ms. Wana.
Okay, yeah. I think webinar was a big milestone in our HRC, but now that we have that with us, my original in the retreat also, I wanted the fact that when we go to these events, and we should create some kind of a 5-minute space for ourselves as HRC, volunteer resident committee, and market it. Market meaning give them the exposure to, besides the webinar, just talk something about HRC and how easy it is. If they have complaints, they can come. So there has to be some space for us in these events, because before that nothing has happened. Are we allowed to be there? For example, if Rani is the chairperson, or if Jay wants to say something just about basic, very complaint process, so people get to hear it also. For example, now we have having human rights event or the youth award. So I don't know how we can plug ourselves in there somewhere, because it will be important if at least they hear the word HRC.
So
Because
you're
it's
advocating
not,
for more education, which is really a core of it's one of our priorities, and it's a
yeah,
long process, right? I understand.
yeah,
I'm hearing you say we need to educate more people more about what's human rights. And I'm
yeah.
just wondering, for the purposes of what's on the webpage, in describing the complaint, we could also say, if you have a complaint, and it's the human rights page, if you have a complaint, click here. But I guess my inclination is, if you have a human rights complaint and have a link or something that says, I don't know, but it's more
Okay.
complicated. We may want to just
Yeah,
say if you have a
but
complaint,
if
but let's
yeah.
decide that. Let's just decide
Mhm.
what's going on the web page. And then we
Okay.
can talk about the bigger education strategy.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to add something to it. The web
Go
page,
ahead.
now we have to look at the how many people go on the web links also. That is another question, because the elderly people don't, and then service workers don't go there. So how many people are we actually attracting on the web page? And is it enough? That is the question.
That is definitely an important question. But right now,
Mhm,
people who make complaints, one of the
mhm.
ways they can do it is to go to the website. And the website says, file your discrimination complaint here. So I'm asking, because I looked at it and thought, wait, this is not, it should say file your human rights complaint here.
Oh,
But I thought it would be appropriate to ask the commission what you think, Silas.
hmm.
I was just curious what Pamela's thoughts were as the primary person receiving and then kind of distributing or triaging those responses, of that, what that change would look like, or what Pamela thinks.
So I actually am opposed to changing the name. I don't think most people have an understanding of what human rights means. And my reading of all of your examples in the video is that they're all discrimination complaints. I don't think, I think there's, as Jay said, an overlap, but I don't know if the general public has an idea about filing a human rights complaint. I think the general public probably would respond to either a discrimination complaint or a complaint, but not necessarily to a human rights complaint. And lastly, there is so little that we as the HRC or the DEI can do, that in many ways, it sort of does, as Drew Carey would say, the points don't really matter, because regardless of whether you call it a human rights complaint or a discrimination complaint, there's very little that we can do to address the complaints that people bring. And what is heartbreaking for me is that we get lots of people who actually have real complaints, but we can't really address them. And so we have going on now 2 ongoing cases where my emails from the individuals, my files are probably like a half an inch thick,
Mhm.
with them sending in emails complaining about a particular situation that I cannot address. And, you know, in both of these cases, the individuals are at the state agencies that can provide them with a recourse, but they feel like there is an avenue through and the HRC that doesn't really exist. So and you know, in the end, it won't really make it much of a difference for our workload because we are not able to really address issues that people raise.
So on the question of issues, our ability to address, I feel like the ability to talk to a non-police or a person that you trust, an entity that you trust about your issue is important. So I would agree with you on everything except the part in the end about, you know, on the one hand, it puts a real burden on you. I recognize that because you're the one who's listening to them and you're never be able to help anybody. And we might want to rethink this whole thing in the next retreat, really sort of relook at the complaints process. But for the person who's talking, what I got from this woman, the most recent woman I spoke with, was that it was so important to feel like you could go to a safe place and tell your story. And I think that's part of I don't know, I feel like that's an important part of the healing from my perspective. I wonder if we could just say, file your complaint here. So we can, I've got two hands. Liz?
Oh, I did unmute. Couple of thoughts. We really need to really understand what our job is as a human rights commissioner. And we can always say, I hear you, here's where you need to take this. But we need to not make more work for ourselves than we are governed to do. And if we continue to go around the circle about how important our work is, which it is, and we understanding that there's not much we can do other than listen and move forward to the next step. I can tell anybody what they need to do if they have a complaint and they're talking to me. That doesn't mean that we have to put it in writing. We have a mechanism that says if you have a complaint. And now I understand also that members of the elderly may not know how to even use the computer to get to the point where they need to speak. And that's to file a complaint. But that's where we can help them do that if we find that it's needed. We can also point them out to the elder services. We can point them out to any place. We have somebody, as you mentioned, Ronnie, somebody is in an abusive relationship. That's not that we can't touch. That's a police matter. We have someone who gets kicked out of their house. Why are they getting kicked out of their house? It may not be for discriminatory reasons. It may be they haven't paid their rent for 7 months and we can't do anything about that except for to say you must go to housing court, or if you feel, so there's all these things that we keep talking about, and we need to take a look at it and change it in our bylaws. But if we get the bylaws and we keep talking about all of these things that we can't do other than be human beings that are supporting the people in the town of Amherst who may need a listening ear and to help them move forward. And that doesn't mean we have to change anything because we do that already. So whether the word says discriminatory or whether it says complaint, we also are going to continue to do the job that we've raised our hands to do. All right. So I feel like we keep reinventing the same wheel over and over again at every meeting that we have. And we need to keep looking forward to the things that we can do, because the wording doesn't mean anything to anybody. And the same thing that we just spent a lot of time doing a PSA, not a lot of people do when watch the PSA. So the same thing can be said about, well, people are not going to be able to get online and file, but people may not watch the PSA anyway. So we just have to do the things that we can do and start worry about the things that are out of our control, especially the things that we are not governed to do.
Okay, can I ask if anyone who hasn't spoken yet would like to speak? Okay, Rizwana, and then I'm just gonna make a motion once Rizwana is done. And
Okay.
then Pamela, if you want to say more.
Okay. Yeah, Liz was really good in, I'm just going off with what Liz said about creating assisted filing options. That is what I'm thinking. There's a mechanism and, partner with libraries or senior centers, because that's where it is, have, for example, there's this, fair access Fridays in bank community. They're always having that. So we can have a volunteer or trained staff member, helping residents, older residents. So this way, official complaint process is intact while we are ensuring accessibility. And then we need to have some kind of a paper complaint forms, like phone intake, where we can show good faith compliance. And, there's a digital barrier also, so we can help process them. So there's trusted, we can have some liaisons or some kind of a document and report accessibility gaps wherever it is, the commission doesn't have obviously any full enforcement power. So we can document and report the accessibility barriers. So we can do that. So even if we cannot directly resolve discrimination cases, our role can be vital by enabling access, increasing trust, and building bridges. So between the public and official system. So basically, that's what we are doing. There's several things that we can do actually. So we can discuss that next time.
Yeah, I think what we're talking about here is educating the public about being able to access the complaint process. And that's, in fact, I don't understand the technology of it, but I know you're talking about some of those pieces. So if a couple of people want to work on that, I think that's part of our agenda to do this education. We should keep in mind that we are not authorized to receive complaints. There's a big confidentiality piece here. So Pamela's the one who does that. So when we talk about what we're going to be doing, basically she's doing the work. So keeping that in mind, if Rizwana and whoever else wants to think about this a little bit and come up with some options for the commission, I think that would be good. I would like to make a motion that we change what is on the website from file your discrimination complaint here to file your complaint here. Is there a second?
Yes, I seconded.
Okay, I'm gonna call for a yes or no vote. Milan is not here. Liz?
No.
Rizwana?
Yes.
Silas?
Can I ask a clarifying question
Yeah.
of the proposal? Would it
Yeah.
include removing the description of discrimination and other things in the thing, or
No, it
just the
has-
top line?
It's just the top line where it says file your discrimination complaint here. It would say file your complaint here.
Okay. Yes.
Ronnie, yes. Jay?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the motion passes with the majority to just change it to a complaint. Shall we move on to the next agenda item? So this is relevant to what we've been doing, taking votes. Alex, you have the floor.
Yes, just give me a second. I'll share my screen and then I'll share more about the proposal. So can everybody see my screen? Is it working?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. So the text on the screen, this is something that Ronnie and Pamela and I have been working on and discussing. And essentially what we would like to propose is a caveat to all future statements made by the commission with this text on the screen. And the reason that we wanted to bring it up to the entire commission to see what everyone else thinks. But the reason that we think this is important is just so that when the commission releases a statement, we can acknowledge the fact that different members might hold different views on the issue that the statement is about, but we would still like to respect the majority vote. So we feel like it would be useful for us to acknowledge that in our future statements.
So I can read what it's saying. It's saying a vote of the commission in support of a particular statement or decision reflects the opinion and will of the commission as expressed through a majority vote and not necessarily that of any individual member. And this, at least in my view, it protects people from, I don't know, I think it protects all of us during times of controversial decisions, because the commission may vote a majority, but we don't all agree. So I think we need to be clear that this does make clear when there's a majority that that's what it is. It doesn't mean every individual on the commission agrees with everything the commission does, because some of us disagree.
Yeah, it's more like a disclaimer, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good.
This looks great.
Yeah, that's good. Even though the fact that it is very obvious, but we do have to articulate that in writing. So that is good, Alex.
Other comments?
So I think it actually makes good
One other
legal
comment
sense.
I have is that I have to go to work. And so I have to log off because I'm actually
Okay.
supposed to have been to work half an hour ago.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you for
bye-bye.
coming. Bye.
Thanks, Liz.
Okay, thank you, Liz.
I don't know if you have to take a vote on that, and I don't know if I
Yeah.
have to be present to vote, but I don't have a problem with the statement. I'll just leave it at
Okay,
that.
thank you. We'll consider you to say yes.
We'll ask
Thank
Pamela
you.
what
Bye.
the Robert's rules and law on that is.
I think we have a quorum, and so let's just vote then. So I make a motion to accept this language, the proposed language,
I second it.
okay? So Liz, is not here. Rizwana, you said yes. Silas?
Yes.
Yes.
Ronnie, yes. Jay?
Yes, it makes a whole lot of good legal sense.
Yep.
Alex?
Yes.
Okay, motion's passed. I have one more agenda item that's not on this item, and that is that I know some of you are working. Oh, sorry, Pamela.
Okay, I just wanted to point out, I think I agree. I think the statement is good. There, for every motion that you have, we will be recording in the minutes the actual vote of the individual. So although it won't, that statement will appear in the statement that's posted on the website. If someone were to look at the actual minutes from the from the vote, they would be able to see the individual votes. So I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that.
Hmm.
Thank you for that clarification.
So how does it
So-
affect the writing now?
It doesn't affect anything. Our meetings are recorded, so anyone who comes to a recording can see who said what and who voted how. So but if anyone has a concern, there is an option to abstain and not vote if we get into something sticky. We don't all have to vote yes or no. We can say we can abstain too, but it will all be recorded. It is all recorded. So nothing secret in terms of this meeting. But that does offer some extra protection, I think. Shall I go to the next item? I just have one more
Yes.
item. I think it'll be quick. It's not on the agenda, and this is the statement regarding Gaza. And I know some of you have been working on it. And I would just like to suggest that the three of you, I think it's Jay, Rizwana, and Alex, that you propose some language that we can vote on at the next meeting, discuss and vote on. Would that be all right?
Yes.
So when you have the language, you should be able to work with Philip to get it to everyone so people have a chance to look at it in advance.
Hmm.
Okay? Does any of you have anything more to add? I know you've done a lot and I'm sorry to push it to the next meeting, but I think it's helpful for everyone to have it and look at it and reflect on it. So, and I know the three of you haven't met together, so you need to do that and agree on what you're going to submit to the commission. Is that all right?
Yeah, because I just saw that Jay.
Mm. All right. Shall we wait for her or assume she's stuck? Okay, so then are there any agenda? I'm sorry. Pamela mentioned there is a League of Women Voters meeting tomorrow. It's the Judy Brooks lecture. You need to conversation, not lecture. You need to register for that. I urge everyone to come. The documents the background documents were sent to you in the second package that included my letter to the town council. There's an executive summary that's just 4 pages. If you look at it, you'll see it's about town efforts toward racial justice pretty much in town. So take a look at that. And then it's time for public comment again. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak? No. There are only 6 of us. So, okay, then the next meeting date is November 19. I would like to make a proposal that we meet on the 18th instead, because I will have great difficulty on the 19th. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay.
One
Silas?
moment. Oh, I was just gonna ask if we could have a minute to look at our schedule.
Yes, please.
That works with me.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that works.
Okay, Alex?
Yeah, works for me too.
Pamela?
I will not be here. I will be in Portugal, but I will check with Philip and see if it works for him.
Okay, so Philip will send a final note just to remind everyone. We'll assume it does work for him. If it doesn't, I'll work with him on a solution. Okay, are there any other topics? Goodness, it's been a long meeting. No other topics. Okay, great. So unless something comes up, we'll see you on the 18th of November. And the town council meeting is on the 17th.
Hmm.
where they will discuss our human rights report. So please be sure to put that on your calendar. And Philip will send more information. So it is now 7:08 and the meeting of the Human Rights Commission is closed. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Have a
you.
nice
Thanks
evening.
all.
Have a good
Thank you.
night. Bye-bye.
Everyone, bye.